Knives Out is directed by Rian Johnson and it's a whodunit movie. The morning after his 85th birthday, a crime novelist and the wealthy head of a family played by Christopher Plummer is found dead, apparently from suicide. But when a private detective played by Daniel Craig is hired anonymously to investigate, he begins to suspect foul play and soon learns that every member of Plummer's family had their own motive to murder him. Rian Johnson has become a director to watch out for. Looper was pretty good, even if I think it's not quite as good as other people do, and The Last Jedi, in my opinion, was really, really good, so now you know where I stand on that issue. And this sounded like an exciting project, an original story inspired by classic murder mystery concepts from the likes of Agatha Christie, with a big cast of famous faces and a well-known, respected actor to play the detective. Movies like this don't come out very often, with the last one being the remake of Murder on the Orient Express, and it's even rarer that it would be an original story. That being said, no matter how original the story may be, it's still a murder mystery with all the tropes that entails, so the fact that there are a lot of twists and turns and betrayals, and likely the biggest twist coming at the end when the detective sums up his findings, should not be a surprise to anyone, and it's also the reason why I'm not going to go into too much detail with the plot to keep this whole thing spoiler free. I will say that though I knew one was coming, the film did such a good job fooling me that I had no idea what the twist was going to be, other than it would be a reveal of what actually happened. The first few minutes plays out as I expected it would, with the dead man being found, and one by one the family members who were present at the party the night before are questioned. We hear what they say happened, and we get the events from each perspective, which are all subtly different. And here's where the film makes its first unexpected decision. Rather than show us in flashbacks what they say happened, we see what actually happened. We see that what they're telling Craig is a lie, so we end up knowing more than the detective trying to solve the case. So right off the bat I'm wondering what, if any, the reveals are going to be if we already know what everyone's hiding. Soon after that, what I thought would be a simple whodunit becomes, we know who did it, and now they have to hide their involvement from the detective, so we see the investigation from the side of the detective and the person trying to derail the investigation, which ends up being very suspenseful and kind of funny too. The only downside is it ends up making Craig's character look like a bit of an idiot. Ana de Armas plays Plummer's private nurse, who actually becomes one of the more prominent characters, and she's good. But I was kind of hoping for more of Daniel Craig and the other family members. Each member gets their time to shine, except for Jaden Martell, who has like 4 lines, but I would have liked a lot more of them. De Armas has this quirky thing where she's so good-natured that even the thought of lying makes her actually physically vomit.
If you even approached a breach of ethics, you'd get queasy. Actually, you'd get physically sick. Well, at least when it came to ethics, I didn't get spontaneous nosebleeds.
Which isn't very convenient for her because she's guarding her own secrets. But once her possible connection to the murder is set up, and when Craig finds out about her inability to lie, it becomes more about her and Craig and less about the family. The standout performance among the family is definitely Chris Evans as the black sheep, smug, asshole type who all the other family members hate but is really fun to watch. It's fun to see him play against the Captain America type and something closer to his earlier amazing performances in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and especially Not Another Teen Movie, which if you haven't seen it, is a fucking masterpiece. Continues to show that Don Johnson should be in way more films, and if you listen closely during the scenes of the family having big shouting matches, Michael Shannon has some hilarious lines that he delivers off screen. One that comes back to me now, I think, is, "I will not be eating 1 iota of shit, thank you very much." There's a funny recurring thing where each family member thinks that de Armas is from a different South or Central American country, but it does get a bit heavy-handed when an actual discussion about illegal immigration breaks out among the family members. I love Daniel Craig in this. He's introduced as a silent figure out of focus behind 2 police detectives who are asking the family questions. He's flipping a coin, and every now and then he'll bang out a note on the piano beside him, and all this sets up pretty well that this character is going to be over the top. And then he starts to talk, and his name is Benoit Blanc, and he has a southern drawl that is so fucking hammy that it's fantastic. Daniel Craig must have had so much fun playing this part, and he's playing a guy who just stepped out of the pages of one of Plummer's mystery novels, and everyone reacts to him like they can't believe a person like this, who talks like this and acts like this, who has this job, even exists. I love the way the whole thing was shot, with lots of push-ins and close-ups of the characters' faces for their big moments and important pieces of dialogue. Cutaways to items as well as sounds in the environment like a cane banging on the ground or a ticking clock in the background that build tension. The music is big and over the top and exactly the kind of thing you'd expect in a movie like this. There's some really excellent and memorable props, the circle of blades of course, and the different figurines around the house. It did feel a bit weird that it was set in modern day. I think I would have liked it a bit more if it was set sometime in the past. I also think I would have liked it more if it had all taken place in one location. Because the characters can pretty much come and go as they please, and there are a number of scenes set in other locations away from the murder house, it's missing that trapped, claustrophobic feeling that has the characters getting more and more tense and frustrated, and then they start to turn on each other. It should have taken place at the house alone and over the course of a single day or night, but that is really just personal preference, and it's the type of thing I can't really hold against the movie, and it's why you shouldn't have too many preconceptions about a film in a particular genre, especially when it comes to this director. If it had been set in one location, on one day, the actual story would have had to be completely changed. It's a very self-aware film, with the victim being a detective writer and some people being big fans of his work. And then there's the big scene where Craig wraps up the investigation and one of the other cops tells everyone else to be quiet. Like, this is the part where the detective character makes a summation. It's a lot of fun. It really was a treat. It was able to give me what I wanted and expected, but also something new. I was a bit disappointed at first because I thought I wasn't going to get the best bits of a whodunit, but then by the end, the plot swings back round to give me what I wanted, as well as having given me something new and unexpected. It was able to do something different without sacrificing what draws people to stories like this. He subverted my expectations, but in a good way. I really appreciate that the trailers did a good job getting me interested, but not giving away too much. I'm going to give Knives Out an A-. I'd recommend this. It's a lot of fun. A nice, relatively low-budget movie that has an original story in that it's not based on anything in particular, but is absolutely inspired by many things. It really could have been a mess with the clashing of tones, but it was funny when it needed to be, it was suspenseful when it needed to be, there was tension when it was needed. Then you have Craig's hammy performance right in the middle of it all, and all in the context of a serious, grisly murder. Johnson made the correct choice to have a kind of heightened reality that makes it okay and even necessary to have all these things happening at once. I would love to see a sequel showing the continued adventures of Craig's Benoit Blanc, so hopefully this does well, and that has a chance to happen. Thank you very much for watching my review. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at @LookToTheMovies. It all helps me out, helps the channel grow. Comment down below and let me know if you've seen Knives Out and what you thought of it, if you liked it or disliked it, if you agree or disagree with any of my comments, or if you have any points of your own. I'll be back soon with more reviews, and I will see you then.